Vince McMahon betrayed by John Laurinaitis, WWE erasing Brock Lesnar, and more accusations apparently set to come out. I'm Oli Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
On the 25th of January, former WWE employee Janelle Grant filed a lawsuit accusing then TKO executive chairman Vince McMahon of sex trafficking and sexual assault. Vince resigned from his position the day after, issuing a statement that strongly denied the allegations. But it wasn't just McMahon who was named in the suit. Grant also accused WWE's former head of talent relations John Laurinaitis, alleging the expectation from both McMahon and Laurinaitis that she engage with Laurinaitis sexually, both physically and with explicit content. The lawsuit describes a toxic workplace where a schedule was put in place for her to have sex with Laurinaitis and other men. If you want to watch the full breakdown of the lawsuit's allegations, there's a link to Luke's WrestleTalk News episode in the video description below. Now, Laurinaitis has issued his first comments on the lawsuit via his lawyer Edward Brennan in a statement to Vice News. Mr. Laurinaitis denies the allegations in the misguided complaint and will be vigorously defending these charges in court, not the media. Like the plaintiff, Mr. Laurinaitis is a victim in this case, not a predator. The truth will come out. Read the allegations, read the federal statute. Power, control, employment supervisory capacity, dictatorial sexual demands with repercussions if not met. Count how many times in the complaint Vince exerts control over both of them. I'm not going to debate whether Laurinaitis is a victim or whether he's signaling to authorities that he's willing to corroborate against Vince in exchange for more lenient treatment himself. We can't yet say. But one message from Laurinaitis' statement is certainly clear. He's also accusing Vince of power, control, employment supervisory capacity, dictatorial sexual demands with repercussions if not met, potentially corroborating the original lawsuit's allegations. Neither TKO or Grant's lawyer have yet responded to Laurinaitis' statement. Just in case you're not aware of John Laurinaitis, here is a brief summary of his weird life. He was the less successful wrestling sibling to his real-life brother, Road Warrior Animal, one of the biggest tag team wrestlers of all time. Instead, Johnny Ace, as he was known, wrestled predominantly in All Japan through the 90s, where, and I've only just found this out, he had 2 Dave Meltzer 5-star rated tag team matches in 1995 and 96, teaming with Dr. Death Steve Williams against Kenta Kobashi and Misawa. He also created the Cutter Move, which would be later used by Randy Orton as the RKO. He joined WWE as a road agent in 2001 following the company buying out WCW, where he had worked for the previous year. In 2004, he replaced Jim Ross as head of talent relations, which he held until 2012, where he was heavily criticized for a decline in building new stars. Then, after being name-dropped by CM Punk in his infamous 2011 pipe bomb, where he said Vince is a millionaire who should be a billionaire, but he surrounds himself with glad-handed, nonsensical douchebag yes-men like John Laurinaitis, who's going to tell him everything he wants to hear, a line that hits differently in light of the lawsuit's allegations, Laurinaitis became Punk's raspy-voiced authority figure antagonist in storyline. But the following year, Triple H took over talent relations, and Laurinaitis was demoted to being a road agent again. He then married Kathy Collace in 2016, which is notable because of who his stepdaughters then became. Then WWE wrestlers, the Bellas, which also makes him Bryan Danielson's stepfather-in-law via Danielson's marriage to Brie Bella, and for a couple of years period, potentially John Cena's stepfather-in-law too, when Cena was engaged to Nikki. Following the lawsuit's allegations, the Bella twins released a statement not directly naming their stepfather. "We are shocked and disheartened with the recent allegations against members of the WWE. There's been a lot to process since we found out this past week, just as you all did. This is something we don't stand for or condone from anyone, no matter who they are. We want all women to feel safe and supported in the workplace and in their everyday lives." Vince rehired Laurinaitis in March 2021 as head of talent relations. Fightful Select reported that during this time, women in NXT blamed him for a new edict implying they had to dress sexier like the then Mandy Rose character, under the guise of fashion consulting and fashion aid, to play up the fact that the women on the brand were larger-than-life stars. Fightful did note they couldn't confirm Laurinaitis' involvement in that decision-making, but it did coincide with him taking over from Triple H. It was the same month Laurinaitis took over talent relations that Grant's lawsuit alleges. McMahon verbally directed her to transfer to the talent relations department, reporting to defendant John Laurinaitis on March 9th, 2021. The lawsuit alleges McMahon had been cultivating a relationship between Grant and Laurinaitis from the previous November. Laurinaitis was replaced by Bruce Pritchard as head of talent relations in June 2022, following Washington Post first reporting on allegations against Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon. For Laurinaitis to officially be released that August after 21 years at WWE. Grant's attorney Ann Callis has told News Nation that this could just be the start. My office and my inbox have had a barrage of people wanting to come forward to attest about this culture of corruption and also possible victims. We are just beginning now to wade through all this, but we're frankly overwhelmed. Grant's hope is that by coming out, by stepping forward, by bringing this complaint and putting her face to this complaint, that other victims of Vince McMahon and the WWE will end up becoming public. She wants to help them find her voice and get justice. Which isn't what Netflix, who announced a $5 billion 10-year deal with WWE just 2 days before the lawsuit was made public, want to hear. Which is probably why they're hoping this is just a Vince McMahon problem and not a larger brand issue. Netflix's chief content officer, Bella Badgeria, was asked about her concerns over the deal in light of the allegations, which The Hollywood Reporter has her replying as, "He's gone, so he's not there. He's gone." It's important to remember, though, that this isn't just a lawsuit against Vince McMahon or even John Laurinaitis. WWE itself is a named defendant in the suit, as it makes allegations of a larger toxic company culture. If anything, especially with Callis saying other people want to come forward, this news story is only going to get uglier and potentially louder. So whenever WWE or anyone involved with them do media interviews, they should at least have a prepared response when they get asked about it. Ahead of the Deadline Premium Live event on Sunday the 4th, NXT's Shawn Michaels fielded multiple questions about the lawsuit in a media call. He concluded saying, "Thank you guys, I will say this. For me, I won't lie to you, this is the toughest call I've ever done. I understand and appreciate y'all doing your job, and you have to do that, so I hope we're able to put the past behind us, and again, not discounting any of the pain that has gone on with that." Grant's lawsuit also alleges McMahon offered her to a world-famous athlete and former UFC heavyweight champion with whom WWE was actively trying to sign a new contract, and ultimately did sign that contract. The Washington Post then reported that people in the know believe this to be Brock Lesnar. As a result, Lesnar was reportedly pulled from his Royal Rumble return that weekend, with all his spots instead being given to Bron Breakker. Dave Meltzer later followed up that some in WWE think Lesnar could be finished with the company forever. In a sign that WWE could be erasing Lesnar from their product, PW Insider is reporting Brock has been removed from the WWE Supercard mobile game, which is published by 2K. It would appear that 2K, as a licensee for WWE, is following the company's lead after WWE backed off on using Lesnar last weekend at the Royal Rumble event. Going forward, PWInsider.com has been told by sources familiar to the matter that we should expect to see Lesnar downplayed, if not outright removed as he was in the Supercard game, as much as possible going forward by 2K and potentially other licensees. 2K will be releasing WWE 2K24 on the 8th of March, which is built around a 40 years of WrestleMania theme. Considering how many historic WrestleMania moments Brock has been a part of, we'll have to see how he features in the game, considering it's only 1 month out from release. The Vince McMahon lawsuit is so industry-shaking it's even causing plans to get changed in other companies. According to Wrestling Observer Radio, AEW were going to announce Mercedes Moné on the Saturday 27th episode of Collision, potentially as a way to undermine the Royal Rumble they'd be going head-to-head with. The decision was made to delay the announcement, though, as the news cycle was so dominated by the Vince McMahon lawsuit. So they decided to save Moné's debut for a time when she could at least be the main story of one day. It's widely expected that Mercedes Moné to AEW Confirmed will be Tony Khan's major announcement for the 7th of February episode of Dynamite next week in Winnipeg to promote Leveling Up with Shazam Fury of the Gods. It's been a rough time for wrestling. The Royal Rumble was supposed to be fun, so to bring back the good vibes and less Any more horrible stories break, we're having a tables, lists and chairs weekend on WrestleTalk. Saturday will see us count down the worst Royal Rumbles of all time, and Sunday has me making my TLC debut to count down the best ones. Subscribe and enable notifications to know when those go live first. Here's a clip to get you in the mood.
I know the words to that.
No.
I know the words.
No, you don't. Sullivan.
Yes, I do.
Sullivan, stop lying. This is not the show for lying.
It's a show for list, not lying.
Not lies, tables and chairs.
Tables, lies, and chairs.